Chairman Mulroy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the Nottingham Zoning Board for April 3rd. I make a motion to seat Kathy Bass as our alternate this evening.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also make a motion that we move election of officers to the end of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor? All right, so then I would like to open the case. I mean, I don't have to say much to the crowd tonight. So open the public hearing, case 18002 VA, application from Edward Chaput requesting a variance from Article 2, Section C2 of the Nottingham zoning ordinance to permit construction of a new residence with a side setback of 8 foot 1 inch where 20 feet is required. The property is located at 22 Cove Road, Nottingham, identified as tax map 68, lot 68. Hello.
I'm Edward Chaput, and my address currently is in Hampton Beach, 17 Johnson Ave. I'm living there temporarily while we hopefully move forward on the project.
So now is the house that's there your current residence or a camp?
It's, we've never lived there.
Okay.
So I think it was a camp originally converted into a home.
Okay.
The person we bought it from did live there full-time.
Okay.
So,
So it's a new purchase to you?
yes,
Okay.
we purchased it in August.
Okay. All right, so basically the floor is yours if you want to go through
Okay,
the
what we're,
case.
okay, what we're doing is we are keeping the original, part of the original footprint of the building, which is roughly 27 feet by 30 feet, and then we're doing the addition part off the front, adding 10 feet in length, but keeping the same width. And that's where the issue is, because it's already non-conforming, the house on the lot. We're kind of making it a little bit worse. A little bit closer. It's like 10 feet now, and after with the addition, it becomes 8 feet on the imposing.
So when you say front and rear, the,
Front is the street side,
okay,
so that's where we're adding on. We're not going towards the lake at all.
right, okay,
And then we're tearing down most of the building, keeping the original first floor, which is about 20 by 30. And there's a part that we originally thought we were gonna keep, but the foundation underneath it isn't good. So we're gonna remove that section and fix the foundation and then add it back in. It looks like at one time it was an add-on. They just, added a camp. They just kept adding sections, so. And then we're going to improve the basement and the drainage around the building, since there actually is no drainage. The water flows, the house is on a ledge, so if you go into the basement or the crawl space / basement, there's like about 5 feet of walking space, and then it's just a big rock that goes up. So the house is sitting on that big rock. And what happens is when there's rain and stuff, drains right underneath the house. So we're going to create drainage according to the survey plan around the house to, and we did apply for the shoreline permit, which got approved, and I gave you copies of that. And we're not touching the existing septic system. It's actually fairly new. We're not touching, the well is there, we're not touching that, so that's staying the same.
Is it a dug well or a drilled?
Pardon me?
Is it a drilled well or a dug well?
It's a drilled well. I think it was done early 2000, something like that. It's done. There is actually an easement for it, or a waiver that was done because the lot is so tiny that it was too close to the septic, I think, so he got a waiver. That was existing. And currently, the existing house is two bedrooms with a bathroom. All we're gonna have is 2 bedrooms and 2 baths. That's it, so,
About a quarter-acre lot.
yes. Yeah, about that.
349.
3/4, the third.
So, I noticed the dry well, so hats off to your designer planner for incorporating that, because I would have asked you to do it if you hadn't.
Yes, it's in the.
Yeah, I see it in the plans, that's excellent. So now, do you know if the garage runoff will be tied into that as well?
The garage is, does he show it? No, he does not show it. He shows, it's gonna just be the, a drainage, around perimeter around it.
It's going to be what, I'm sorry?
Pardon me?
Perimeter drains around the garage.
Okay.
Yes, that's what that dotted line is. But it doesn't show it going to the, on the house, one side is gonna have a gutter, and the other side will have the regular runoff drainage. And the side with the gutter is where people will be walking, so.
And that'll be tied, it sounds like in the notes that that'll be tied to the dry well.
Yes. And the whole idea is whatever work we're doing where it says all woods and unaltered states, we're leaving all that. We're not touching that. It kind of helps the site was very wooded. The existing house had trees like growing almost into it, lifting up the foundation and stuff like that. They were big trees too, like 36-inch diameter pines.
Looks like a half-dozen trees were taken out on the right side already.
Yes. It's all set with the shoreline people. I went through all that with them, counting up all the points and that stuff.
Yeah.
At the state level.
Yeah,
They
this,
have to
this,
approve all of that stuff. that's
For the wetlands,
responsible.
for the shoreline permit.
So that's all scrutinized.
All right.
is the main reason that you're moving closer to the boundary because of the decking you're putting on the front? Or is it the,
That's part of the house. It's 10 by, it's like 260 square feet,
Increasing.
increasing the square footage. So it's not a deck, it's actually gonna be a foundation, part of the house. It's
Okay.
moving.
If you go to page 3,
page 3 of the,
plans, yeah,
okay,
I think it's 4 to where you are. So the addition, so the original footprint would include the dining room, living room, kitchen, and so the expanded end would be towards the house, what you're calling the front entry, where it says bedroom in the back on the first floor plan?
Okay,
It's basically the vestibule, stairway, and a bed, part of a bedroom in the
Right.
front. That's getting added.
the 20, so it's 26 by 10? Is that what you're showing here?
Yes.
No, that's,
26 feet, 10 inches. I don't see this dimension.
So it mainly would be that corner of the bedroom would be the encroachment. And so, to me, the hardship is that he can't go forwards to the lake away from the neighbor's property line. And I don't know how much you could move this way. So it's just because they're adding that dimension to the back or the front street side of the house. That's what brings them closer or less conforming than the 10-foot.
I was trying to incorporate as much of the existing area as possible, and that was kind of the most a reasonable way to go, because if either that or I gotta like actually move the whole house over, crush it completely and then do it, and then that becomes more of an issue with disturbing more of the lot
right.
and
the
causing
landscape.
more issues with the state.
Right,
I was trying to do as least amount of harm as possible, I guess.
right. No,
way to put it.
that makes sense to me.
So you mentioned you're keeping most of the foundation
Yes.
and repairing what's
The
needed.
section that got added on later on is just on piers.
Mm-hmm.
And actually the pier towards the lake was actually getting damaged by one of the trees that was growing into it. So what I'm gonna do is that added on area, I'm actually gonna put an actual foundation and get rid of those piers because
Under the area that's towards the road.
Like,
that would be towards the Lewis house.
Towards the neighbor's side, this side, right here.
That long length there. Because actually, that's open.
Okay.
Mr. Chaput, have you discussed this with the Lewises?
Yes,
They're cool?
yes. Everybody said, after I had a variance, I went and visited all the neighbors and abutters. Showed them the drawings and everything else. They all seem very happy, anxious for new people to move in.
And you're going to improve the building,
Yeah.
basically rebuild it, right?
Yes. Gonna look completely different. It's gonna look completely different. Still gonna look kind of rustic looking, more varnish than log cabin.
Any other questions from the board?
Is the garage a two-car garage?
No, it's
Single?
very small. It's only gonna be 16 by 20,
Okay,
and the height of it is only gonna be maybe 14 feet at the most. Low pitch roof. It's just a single car garage with a little storage. That may get delayed in the construction process. I'm dealing with NHEC because there is a pole, telephone pole right there.
Yeah,
And I have to get, apparently I have to do some kind of encroachment thing to the pole. There's a guideline and stuff like that, so I'm working those issues out with them.
now, do you have overhead service or underground service
Overhead service, but it's going to be underground.
when they change it? But the pole stays.
All right, the pole stays, that's a part of I looked it up, there's an easement from 1978.
Yeah, I saw the notes in here. So now, is there still an overhead service running off to one of the neighbors?
Yes, there's, from that pole, it services my house and it serves the other side, the O'Keefe's, their house there.
So now does that line run over your garage?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
The
So I think-
pole is, if you look where it says, it shows a corner of my septic system, it's right on the corner of the septic system.
Yeah, okay. Oh, and so they probably just want you to sign a waiver
Yeah, that's
to
right.
let you have your building that close to it.
Yeah, that's all. It doesn't seem like, I've met with a few of the officials, it doesn't seem like a big deal.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the, the wheels to move.
Understood. Anybody else? No other discussion from the board? We got no correspondence? Okay. Okay.
They're the one on the side of the property where you're getting closer, right, Lewis's?
Yes. Getting closer to their land.
I mean, to me, the house with the plans, the drip lines, the trench lines, the rebuilding,
The
the
dry
attention to the dry well, I think it's generally an upgrade. And even though I don't like to see things get closer to boundary lines, I think in this case, I do see the hardship in that you can't go in other directions without creating more impact. So he is kind of relegated to growing in that dimension, and that's where the 2-foot shrinkage comes from.
And the neighbors
And-
are not here objecting.
With the Lewis's, that spot there is where their house is. They can't see my house because they're closer to the lake. And up in that area, they have a garage. And that's actually
The back
that
of their
area,
garage.
the back of their garage. So that I'm not, impeding on any of their view or anything like that. And it's it's built up. So their level, property level where the garage is, must be 8 feet higher than where my level is.
Oh, okay.
So it's got boulders and stuff, they must have built something up when they did their garage, so.
Okay.
Your motion, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the application for Edward Chaput on case 18-002BA for a variance from Article 2, Section C2 of the zoning ordinance, the construction of a new residence with a setback of 8 feet 1 inch where 20 feet is required. Property is located at 22 Cove Road in Nottingham and is identified as Tax 38, Lot 68.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just so you know, there is a 30-day appeal window, so if town officials or
The Lewis's.
the Lewis's were to
their
object, they
mind.
have a 30-day appeal window to ask for a rehearing or Superior Court. All right.
Thank you, look forward to living in your town.
Thank
Well,
you.
welcome to town.
It's a lot quieter than Hampton is.
You should, I'm right where the floods are.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah, it's been a wet winter there.
Yes, a couple of times I'd open my door and if I took a step down, I'm in 3 feet of water.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, my house didn't get it, I said, but it's a lot different than, I lived in Raymond for 30 years.
That gets floods once in a while.
But Pawtuckaway Lake never floods.
Hey, but I've been going to Pawtuckaway Lake for a long time, that's a very beautiful spot, that's why we spend a lot of time looking for a place.
Well, good.
You might
Thank
wanna,
you.
you might wanna join the Lake Association.
Getting his
I've
plug
already
in.
been invited.
All right.
Attaboy. put a plug in for them.
All right, I'm gonna close public hearing on case 18002-VA. Do you guys wanna go over bylaws and meeting minutes? Do elections last? I don't care what order, really. Let's do the bylaws, might as well while we're, any comments, questions?
They were emailed to you.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, weeks ago,
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
them.
months ago, maybe.
yeah.
And there's hard copy at the back of the book.
The
Bonnie, you
changes.
had found one or two small things, hadn't you? But you had emailed those to
Well, no,
Joanna.
we were all in a meeting together in the other conference room. Weren't we discussing the bylaws in that meeting?
I've lost,
Or was it a while ago?
Recollection.
We brought up the bylaws once before, and then they were, and nothing, we founded them, we brought them back, they were brought back to the planning board, I know, because I was on that, and it was asked the chair, and then we changed to chairperson throughout, which has been done,
okay.
and there was one more change made that
was.
Land use clerk.
The date of our meeting to,
that's right.
but for some, that's only mentioned in the RSA's for planning board, but it's not zoning board as far as when to vote, and it has to be a separate meeting and all that.
Right.
I don't know why it's not a specified thing for the zoning board, so that's why it's in the planning board.
Mr. Chairman, I move we have to approve them as well, right?
Yes.
Approve the bylaws for the zoning board for 2018
As amended.
as amended.
I'll second that.
All in favor? I think you can vote on that one. And can you vote on that one? I think so.
I think so, because it's not a.
Right, not a case, so yeah. You don't get two, you don't get to put both hands
Oh.
up.
Screwed up.
All right,
Who seconded that?
Bonnie did. Meeting minutes of February 6th, were you at that meeting?
I was.
Nice, glad you're here then.
I guess I'll do my duty. If it's good, I'll make a motion. Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
to accept the meeting minutes on the Nottingham Zoning Board of Adjustments from February 6th, 2018, as is.
Second.
All in favor?
You can still. I think I was here. Yes, you were.
All right, that was 5-0. Were you not here or
I
not?
was not here, so
All right, so it's 4-0.
I'm abstaining.
Two
I
abstains,
believe I was
Kathy
at the
and
school
Bonnie.
I
district
think so.
meeting.
Oh, I think so, too.
Yeah.
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 Wow,
What is that?
I think it was a child.
The kids are getting drunk. Yeah.
Who seconded?
So, Mr. Chairman, I don't think I am
Teresa.
needed any longer.
Stay for elections. Or are you running away so you don't get elected?
I thought I could not.
Oh, you're only voting on the meeting minutes because you were present?
Mhm.
Okay.
But can I vote on the, she thought not, because I'm an alternate.
Oh, maybe not.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Joanna, on the
I'm
officers?
assuming,
On officers? I don't know.
That's a very good question. I don't think it's ever been asked
I
before.
I don't think it states anywhere, at least not in the
heaven
RSA that
forbid
I'm
make
aware of.
precedents.
I mean, I don't see an issue with it.
No,
I don't see an issue with
Does it say anything in our
It's not a
bylaws?
public hearing.
No.
Public hearing, order of business, amendments, waivers, applications, officers. It doesn't say anything, it just says that we have a chairperson and a vice chairperson, and that the board votes. It doesn't state a number on the board. Oh, shall consist of 5 or each. You can have up to 5 alternates.
You can.
The entire board, including the chairperson and all officers, shall participate in decision-making process and to vote to approve or disapprove all motions under considerations.
That says it. All
There you go.
members.
So he can vote.
So he could have even voted for the public hearing?
It seems like it.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm sorry.
I think they try to keep it an odd
No
number
sorries.
of ties,
Right.
honestly. But I think on this kind of a thing, this is administrative
Right.
stuff.
You know, I'll ask at the OEP.
Are you good?
I'll ask a lawyer or three. Because you can't just ask one.
Right.
And, but to me, I don't know if there's anything different about a hearing versus all other matters before the board. But the way this reads, I think all matters before the board, like elections, anybody who shows up and is an alternate or a member could vote. That's the way I interpret our bylaws. I'll ask if there's anything specific about a public hearing.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea.
All right. All right, officers, we need a chairman and a vice chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I move, if you're so inclined, to have Mike Russo be the chair for 2018.
I'll second that.
I'm still willing,
Okay.
And it's Mr. Chairperson now, right?
correct.
Well,
I am still a
If I'm
person.
referring to him as a man, I can call him Chairman.
Is that true?
Yes, and if it was Bonnie as chair for the evening, I would call her Chairwoman.
Is that
Thank you,
right?
Teresa.
You're welcome.
I think I have to get a ruling.
So we've got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
So that was
5-0.
5-0.
Yep, 5-0. 501.
And, vice chair?
Mr. Chairman, I move Bonnie Winona McKinnon for vice chair, if she so
I'll
desires.
second that.
All in favor?
Didn't give her a
5-0
chance-
again.
Didn't give her a chance to say no.
No. Yeah, you didn't say if you were willing, I guess you
Could
are.
have jumped up.
So we'll just make sure that we're never both absent on the same night again.
That would be helpful.
appreciated. I
think there were
apologize
three
who
of us.
seconded. My computer's been wigging
I
out.
think it's
now.
Peter.
Peter.
Okay.
Peter, yeah. All right, so we've done our due diligence, we heard our case, took care of meeting minutes, bylaws, officers.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn.
Oh, wait, no adjournment. Not quite yet. Good, Chair.
You gotta be quick.
That's like
I do not accept that motion.
rats.
So currently, we do not have any more zoning cases in my office, but please do not forget that we are having a special meeting with the planning board and the building inspector on May 23rd.
Of April?
May
23rd.
May 23rd of April.
May 23rd, and
That one.
At 7
at 7.
here?
Yes, here.
That's on a Wednesday, right?
That is
So-
on Wednesday.
I just want to alert this board to do a little homework, because Russ has approached me with some of his edits. A bunch of it is about the word grandfathered is not an acceptable term, and so it really should just read non-conforming lots. And that I'm in total agreement with, that should come out. He's also on a tear about adding things that the town doesn't want in certain sections, and I'm in total disagreement with that. I think that it flies directly in the face of the Malachi Glen case. So if you guys could do your homework about Malachi Glen, if we start listing things that we don't want in town, then all a person has to do is ask for a waiver from that, and then that takes away our ability to say, but we don't allow that thing in our town. So by going in that negative speak, you're opening a can of worms, I think. And any decisions we make needs to go before the lawyer. But I think I think it's better legal precedent to keep in the list of things, especially like in the things that we do allow. It's in, I'd have to look up the specific article, but it's the one especially that we'd allow stuff in certain zones. So you're better to leave the court with the impression of, here are the things that we allow. And then it's easy to point out that that's not in our list of allowed. Otherwise, you have to have a very exhausted and updated list of what you
Right.
don't allow, and then because you list it, somebody can ask for relief from that And you can never, because of the Malachi Glen case, you can't use the reason they're asking for relief as the reason you deny the relief. So it removes a giant legal argument from us, and it's towards the applicant, so it would be counterproductive. I'll explain that all to the planning board as well.
And you said Malachi, M-A-L-A?
Malachi.
Malachi.
Malachi Glen.
M-A-L-I-C-H-Y, I think you said.
It directly speaks to this very issue. So if you were to say, we don't allow porn shops, right? And the person then says, we would like relief from Article C2 to allow a porn shop, you can't say, but we don't allow porn shops. That's basically the short version of Malachi Glen.
Okay.
Whereas we're stronger in our current position where we say, well, a porn shop isn't in our list of approved activities in that zone.
Right.
And so then we have a legal footing. So I disagree with that tack that he's taking. So, just so you know.
Who's Russ?
He's our new building inspector, code enforcement officer.
Are we getting to meet him at this double board meeting?
Yes,
You said May 23?
May 23rd.
7 p.m.
Yeah. Another thing that will be definitely talked about is Article 2C2, our big one that we have.
Tonight.
Edited, and I think I really think that it needs to be completely reworded entirely so that we clear that bone of contention up that we've been facing over and over.
Excuse me, but because this was shrinking, I missed the beginning of your statement. Could you just?
Article 2C2.
That's the one we heard tonight.
As Russ and the town administrator backs me on it as well. I think it needs to be completely reworded. No trying to work with what we have for wording. Reword it. What do we want it to say clearly?
Yeah, this is very convoluted.
It is.
You're talking about the second paragraph specifically, Joanna, or the whole section C?
Article 2C2, the second one.
Article 2, C, oh, the wording of 2. Okay, so that was the one
Yeah.
Okay.
The setbacks.
Right, the one I was even pointed to you on.
Yeah,
It says, okay.
Yeah. So, that one I think is gonna be a big one that we're gonna really work on and definitely have that prepared for ballot in next March. So if you have any
That's on-
rewording that you wanna suggest.
That's on page 2 of the
Correct.
special handout you handed out tonight.
Correct. Yes, it is. Yeah. So things like that are the things that we're gonna be looking at, but the grandfather, definitely that one, all the lawyers say, get that out of your zoning ordinance. So that one will be one that we'll talk about for sure.
Mhm.
And then Article 2C2. And then anything else you have, definitely please send them to me so that I can have them listed out for our meeting. And I can cut and paste those sections from the ordinance into our notes
Okay.
that night. The big thing is though for you guys to get to meet the building inspector as well, kind of get on the same page with him. So, but I also wanted to ask you all if you are interested in still having a meeting in May, whether I get cases or not, so that we can finalize our variance application, because we haven't done that yet.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So are we scheduled to have an April meeting, April 17th meeting, or not?
Well, we're scheduled, if you want to still have one on the 17th. I don't have any cases for it.
Isn't that a weekend?
No,
Yep.
April 17th is 2 Tuesdays from now. But otherwise, we can do the May 15th that I have scheduled for the variance application review, to make sure that we've got that all up to snuff, being a new format.
I'd like to see the new applications being brought in, because I have to say, I looked over everything there was in the binders tonight on this, and I didn't even know what the guy was actually coming before us with. I knew what he wanted relief from, but I didn't realize he was building the addition and the garage, except for looking at the forms, because our application doesn't say, what do you propose to do?
Oh.
And I'd like to see, what do you
Now,
propose to do?
does that follow more in line with what the planning board does?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Great.
I would like to see on the application, the signature of everybody who's on the deed. Like, I think it seemed to me that he has a wife who signed off on the letting us go to the property, but she didn't sign the application. While it would be unusual for someone to disagree, it could happen. That we allow one owner to do something the other owner doesn't agree with,
Or doesn't know about
or
even.
doesn't know about even.
Is that on our, do you know?
Well, we can capture that in our application.
I don't have that right here, so I'll look.
Right, it should be on the signature page of the application, I think,
No, it makes sense.
just in case.
I'm good with May 15th.
So you might,
is it
you might
working?
ask them to bring you a copy of their deed, so you can see who's actually on it.
I have access to that in the.
From
assessing
Sue,
office.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
But
whether
if they
bring
come
in-
to us, I don't know how soon she gets them from the registry. I have no idea. In the old days, it could take a month or two. I don't know. Now with computers, some things are faster, but some things aren't.
Okay, so you want a copy of the deed included in that?
Yeah, and then you can see who's on that deed and make sure that all of those people sign the application. It might be one person, it might be multiple persons. It might be a husband and wife who are estranged, for example. And one doesn't agree with what the other one's doing. I
And
know
we're
that from
stepping in
experience. I
legally.
once sold a piece of land that the wife called up and said, I didn't sign that deed. It turned out she was crazy, but I mean, things can happen. And the title insurance company took care of it, but we don't have title insurance here. So I think we should make sure that all owners agree to whatever's being asked for.
That makes sense. It's a good legal coverage. Anybody else going to the OEP on April 28th?
Yeah, I'm going.
I'll be away.
Good for you.
I thought you were going. Sue Mooney wrote to me and said,
Yeah, no, I'll be away. I'll be away on vacation.
Oh, do you need decision notes
That would be good.
before we leave
Yes.
this evening? All right, thank you.
yes.
So
But you're
are we in
excused. Thank you,
agreement
sir.
for May 15th?
Yes.
May 15th?
Yeah.
And what about April 17th? That too?
No.
No,
No.
because nobody's
Good.
made the application deadline, so we can cancel that meeting now. Okay.
Good, that's good to know.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate you coming
Night.
out.
Kevin, you're leaving us.
Yes.
You're not gonna vote on adjournment?
Your chairpersons handle that.
Yep, that's actually what you, yep, it is online, but I also sent it to you. Yeah. All right? All right.
Bye.
Hey, Kevin.
Thank you for making it.
Excuse me.
Sorry, we keeping you awake?
Took pictures of it. I wasn't sure which direction he was moving his house because I hadn't seen a plan.
Until I saw this plan a little larger, it was hard to understand why. But once I saw how the house was oriented on paper, I could see why that dimension had to happen.
So I'm cutting down all those trees on the right side, so I figured he was preparing to move it that way. But he was already pretty close to the other side, but now he's closer.
But apparently it's not a concern for them.
He was right, the other people like up a hill from him, and there's some trees in between them and stuff, so. It's a little sad to see a lot of these traditional cottages being built up into bigger houses, but they're meeting the building, guidelines and things. the property owners.
It was already not a small camp. It was already not a small camp, and he's not really changing it a whole lot more. Like, it's not like some of the ones that are out there.
Change is a constant.
Yep. The only constant. So said the Buddha. Okay, so. So I noticed when Teresa was making the motion to approve this application,
Tonight.
yeah, she had the case number. It's not on the application, I guess it's on the agenda page, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was looking for it for my form here.
Because it doesn't get assigned a case number when it comes in as an
Right.
application.
Joanna gets the
I didn't
paper.
put it on that.
Oh,
You
it's-
did. You put it on the.
No, it's on the
It's on
agenda.
the agenda. I
It's just
didn't
not on
know
the-
to find it.
I tend to put them on the application as well before I scan them. I apologize.
Oh, well, it's not on
Oh, okay.
mine, but anyway.
Okay.
There's a box that says for office use only. Is that
Oh, I
right?
know why. It is on the one that I scanned. He was good, and he made copies of everything for you guys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, get it.
So that was before it was assigned an case number.
Joanne, I'll put it in the front of the binder.
That works really well, because I go through every file I'm doing that.
Everybody's doing well, had a good Easter.
Had a very good Easter, yeah. We had 8 people.
Did you guys, families get together?
Yeah. My brother has twins that turned 21.
Hmm.
So we celebrate there, because it's April 11th, so we celebrate it in addition with Easter.
Can you tell them apart?
Oh, yeah. It's so funny. It's a boy and a girl, and
Okay, that answers that question.
Gabrielle looks very European, and Dimitri is Greek. So it's so funny, they look just like their names. Yeah. It's great.
It's a good age.
Yeah, it's a good age. Yeah.
Here to see the age of Aquarius come on. Well, maybe. Depends on how things go in the next few years. They're either gonna go right or left.
Yeah.
But I'm optimistic. It's not just me.
Is today the 3rd?
Yes, it is.
All right, and you say in the front of the book is good?
Yes.
I hope you don't mind, I stole the addendum in the back. I don't know if you added that to everybody, the ADU booklet?
That was for you.
Oh,
Can we
thank you.
take this with us?
What is that?
This is the,
Oh, yes.
And
kind
I
of our
stole
homework.
this from mine, so I will go home and put all those in my calendar.
Oh,
Oh, can I have that too?
The town is looking to, is considering to do is utilizing Google calendars and Google email and everything. How many of you have a Gmail account and use Google calendars? Okay, but a Gmail account at least.
Gmail account.
You could give us a lesson in Google Calendars.
Yeah,
So now,
seriously, I would like
Big on
that.
now, do you guys
electronic
have
anything.
Outlook as your mail server?
Currently.
Because it could go on that too. I mean,
I don't have Outlook though.
oh, you don't do Outlook?
No.
Me either.
Okay.
Google seems to be,
Oops, I'm so sorry.
More universally accepted. Yeah, I'm fine with either one.
okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Versatility over here.
gotta be. Gotta speak multiple languages nowadays.
Yeah, you do. All right.
Okay, so we can comfortably steal this calendar?
Yes, yeah, those are for you guys to take. They're the updated from our agreement to move everything to the third. And then I think it was you, no, actually, Peter Landry pointed out that, keeping the original, application deadline that I had before, was actually going against RSA, where we have to secure a case 30 days, within 30 days of receiving the case. And some of those, application deadlines put us outside that 30-day window. So I had to come up with a different application deadline for everybody, our meetings too, so.
Oh, so this calendar reflects the correct ones,
Everything.
and we're legal.
And we're legal.
All right, good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
Didn't he used to be on this board?
It was.
Peter Landry did?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
When I was first on the board, he
Yeah.
was on it.
Okay. Good to know.
All right, you ready for
It's
a
tough on
motion to
people who
adjourn now?
That would be
Came with bad
lovely.
presentations.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn this meeting.
Second? All in favor? Aye. Well, no.